Hello all, I'm in conversation with Miss Tanvi Rao, a spellbinding actor and a professional Bharatanatyam dancer. As exultant as I am about this interview, I feel innately honored to be having the privilege to meet Miss Tanvi Rao in person and know more about the endearingly amiable and enormously talented person that she is.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Halima. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for obliging to do this interview.
I'm really thrilled.
It is boggling to know that you were merely 4 when you exhorted your pursuit of Bharatanatyam. What encouraged and espoused your penchant or keenness for it?
It's a funny story. I mean, my dad tells me that I was in the cradle and I used to see these clothes that are put to drying, and they used to, dance around in the wind, and apparently I used to laugh. So he tells me he was sure that I was going to become a dancer because, I was enjoying the clothes dancing. I don't know. I don't obviously remember how it all started, but I always enjoyed watching dances on screen. I used to have a lot of CDs of Vaijayanti Mala, Madhuri Dixit, Aishwarya Rai, and Hema Malini, and all these dancers, and I used to watch them and I used to try to recreate them. And I was very, very fascinated by Nimbuda Nimbuda of Aishwarya Rai and Madhuri Dixit's Kahe Chhed. And there was this period where I used to perform it everywhere I went. So around that time, I was really attracted to Kathak by Kahe Chhed. I really wanted to do the dance form that Madhuri Dixit was doing. And we looked around. We couldn't find any Kathak teachers at that point, but I just wanted to learn. I just wanted to dance. Apparently, I really forced my dad to take me to a dance class. So we went around. We met a few dance teachers, but a lot of them told us that they don't take dancers, they don't take children that young, because the feet are really soft and it's not very good for you to start learning at that age. So they told me to come back around 5 or 6 years. But apparently I was really, really, persuasive that I really want to start dancing right now. So then we met my Guru Srimati Geeta Sardaya, and she told us that if you're okay with coming and just watching, I won't make you dance a lot, but if you're just okay with watching your seniors dance, then you can come. And I was really excited. So I used to go watch my seniors dance. I wouldn't be able to dance much, but I would just watch for like half an hour, 1 hour. I think I would just sit and watch them perform. Then I would come back home and then I would make my mom sit, and then I would dance in front of her. Oh, they did this. The Naika was waiting like this. All these things that I watched from my seniors, I would come back and perform at home. So I think my training started that way. I learned to be observant. I learned to have patience. And from there, I really fell in love with Bharatanatyam.
So you persuaded your parents into enrolling you?
Yeah, apparently I did. I don't really remember, but they tell me I was very persuasive.
So from being adulated by Bharat Natna recipient APJ Abdul Kalam to receiving a standing ovation across 9 cities of the USA for Bharatanatyam performances, and from being extolled by Anjali Tendulkar, Udit Narayan, to acting in movies with Madhuri Dixit and Juhi Chawla, do you let the fame and laudatory get to you, or how do you fathom being tremendously successful at a young age?
Well, I don't know. I think success means a lot of things. And first of all, I should thank you for reading so much about me. I mean, that's so sweet. In one question, you literally framed half my biodata. I don't really think of myself as successful or not successful. I worked in a film with Manoj Bhajpai sir, and he told me that success is basically just that you get to choose what projects you do. That really just means success for an artist. And for me, it's just that, we're just trying to do the best at work. And if we get love out of it, it feels really great, of course. But, it can go away also any moment. So I don't think artists in general really hold on to that idea of fame, or I don't think that they should. Because I think it really depends performance to performance, especially in a theatre or a dance performance. What we have seen is that, every performance is different. Sometimes on stage we're performing and the audience just loves you and they're clapping for you, they're hooting for you. But sometimes the audience is just dead, and, you also feel like, okay, am I doing something wrong? Maybe you are, maybe it's just the audience. So I think it really depends performance to performance, even from project to project. Even this character, I really didn't think that this particular character that I'm doing right now as Kirti would receive this much love. But it came to me very unexpectedly. So I don't know, you can never predict what gives you fame, what doesn't. I think mostly artists just focus on doing their best and enjoying their work, because this is something I've taken with a lot of love. This is my passion. So my focus is just there, like trying to deliver the best result that I can from my performance, and then the rest is just happening around me.
Lovely. So by breaking the social dogma of choosing to pursue a BA in performing arts over MBBS, having completed PCMB and scoring 98% in 12th boards, were there any challenges that came in your way or were there any challenges that you faced or had to surmount to covet your prowess of Bharatanatyam and acting?
I think one problem obviously was that the relatives, really did not support this decision, and they were very, they were not sure of what I was choosing and why I was choosing it. And honestly, at that age, even I was not very sure. I just really wanted to learn. I wanted to pursue dance in a very serious manner. I wanted to explore acting, and I was really also interested in psychology. So I suggested it to my parents and we discussed about it, and they were very supportive. They told me that I can choose whatever I want to choose. So I went ahead with it. And of course, there were a lot of troubles, and there still are. I think any profession would pose you with a lot of challenges. But you figure out along the way, the finances, or how to, the certain techniques that you need as an artist, your marketing, all these things, I think you just figure out along the way. So I think the major difficulty was in choosing. And because my parents were supportive, I was able to get through that phase easily. And whatever comes after is my responsibility because I've chosen it.
You waded through it.
Yeah.
What makes the Bollywood industry distinct from South film industry?
See, I have worked more in television in South India. I've only done one film in Kannada. I've done 3 films in Hindi. Now, the film industry and television industry is generally very different. Their working style is different. Their call sheets, everything is different. So, I don't know if I can compare, Bollywood versus South. Whatever project I have worked in Hindi, it has been very, very organized. They really take care of you very, very well. And I can say the same about South. The movies that I have worked in, they have a lot of budget difference. But I think the kind of people that I have been exposed to, thankfully, have been very wonderful both ways. And so I really didn't experience a lot of difference between the two languages. I think the themes that come to us are generally different. But I think also now, because of OTT and social media and all that, they are also merging. So I don't know. I don't think there's any difference that I can point out to you like that.
It blurs out the difference.
Yeah. I have not personally experienced something like that. Yeah.
It leads me to my next question. Have you endured any arduous hardships that you have treated with equanimity to get through auditions and roles?
Audition is a very, love-hate relationship. Like, you never know what you have to go through at an audition. But thankfully, I have not really experienced any traumatic or, troublesome experience. I have heard of some people who have, especially in Mumbai, because it's a huge ocean of actors and there are wonderful actors who are absolutely not getting any work. And so, even looking at these people sometimes is very worrisome. It really puts you into like, what am I doing? Am I going somewhere with this?
Does it take a toll on
It definitely does. It definitely does if you let it. but thankfully I had a support system. When I was in Mumbai also, I had some of my friends there who also had graduated with me from college, and they were around. So if something did not feel good, or if I had a bad day, I could always go back to those people. I always had my parents who were very supportive, so I could always get back in touch with them. I think that's very important, especially if you're moving to a different city and you're trying out something like this, and financially also it's very taxing to you and your family. So yeah, I think having an emotional support really helped me. But yeah, I mean, auditions are, now I think I've started enjoying auditions, because maybe I've gotten a hold of what my industry demands also from me as an actor. So now I generally enjoy auditions, but I think it really depends. When you start your career, people treat you also differently. And now that you have done a few projects and they've seen you in a few projects, then they treat you differently. So the audition process is different. So yeah, initially it is difficult.
So how do you turn oblivious or turn a blind eye to unsolicited criticism that's worth 2 cents?
It's hard. As actors, or as artists, we are constantly looking at the audience, for approval or for just feedback. How did they enjoy my show? And I mean, there is always a difference between constructive criticism and something that's just hatred. So, I mean, it's a big task, I think, to learn to differentiate between the two, first of all. It hurts sometimes, especially I think social media can be really mean sometimes. Thankfully, I have not received, too much of hate or anything as such until now. But I'm always very mindful that it can always go into that zone, and you can never predict how social media engages with you. So I try to keep my distance, whether it is positive or negative criticism. I try to keep my distance. I try to be neutral, and I try to see what they're saying, if this really helps me for my future. Even if it's like a lot of love, then that doesn't really help me. What if it makes me lazy? So I try to keep away from any sort of feedback. But some overwhelm you sometimes. Sometimes very good things also overwhelm you. Like, people meet me on the road. I had a woman who started crying looking at me on the road, saying, "I love your character. I can't believe I'm meeting you here." And that's very overwhelming for a person to experience, especially when you don't think that much about yourself.
There are people who look up to you now.
Yeah. When you don't look at yourself as an inspiration, but somebody else is doing that to you, it's very overwhelming. And I'm very grateful, but I mean, I try to keep my distance so that, I can just, I just want to keep focusing on the work so that, this distraction doesn't detour.
On that note, I wish you the best of all the felicific endeavours today and always.
Thank you. Thank you for this beautiful interview. You framed all your questions so nicely. It was really, really nice chatting with you.
Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
As riveted as I was conversing with Ms. Tanvi Rao, I hope you enjoy the interview too. Stay tuned for more stellar interviews. Don't forget to like, subscribe and drop your comments below. Thank you.